If your robot is not working as expected, don't worry guys, it happens all the time. And in 90% of the cases, it can be fixed within minutes if you know some tiny crucial things that I'll be sharing with you in this short video. I'll be sharing with you some simple checks that fix 90% of our problem. We'll go step by step: power, code, mechanics, sensors, and a smart debug mindset. So let's get started. If you're trying to troubleshoot your robot and if you have any doubts, make sure you ask it in the comments down below, and I will try my best to solve your doubt and troubleshoot your issue. If you're into robotics and electronics, check out our channel. You will find so many interesting things that might be useful to you. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Think about the power supply and its connections. First thing you need to check is if it is actually plugged in or switched on. It sounds basic, but the truth is we all miss it sometimes. Now, if you are using a battery, check if it is charged and connected firmly. Loose clips are mostly common. Now, check the polarity. If you ask me about the color, usually red to positive and black to negative. Reverse wires can stop the robot or even damage some parts. And make sure all grounds are shared: battery ground, Arduino ground, driver ground, and if you have any other sensors or modules, make sure the grounds are connected in common. In order to check all this, we can use our friend Multimeter. Confirm the 9V battery or the 12V DC adapter or whichever power source that you are using is delivering power to all the components as expected. Now, let's go to the second level. If the robot powers up, but still nothing happens, one thing that you need to check is your code. Look for typos or missing semicolons or any other errors in syntax. One tiny mistake can block the upload, especially in the case of Arduino. But in most of the cases, we will notice that because we will see the error. Even if there is no error and the code is uploaded successfully, there is a problem with the typos. Sometimes you will be defining variables and you will be using that variable in different parts of the code. If you are using a wrong variable or if there is any typo in the variable name, sometimes it will be creating its own separate variable and that will be causing issues within the code. And also, if you have multiple boards connected to the same computer, make sure you are uploading the code to the right board to the right port. Make sure the required libraries are installed and of the right version. And also, double check the pin numbers matching in your wiring. In order to troubleshoot these kind of issues, one thing that we can do is upload tiny sketches for each separate modules that we are using. For example, if you have an IR sensor and two motors in your robot, try to control each motor separately using a tiny sketch, and also try to see if the readings from the IR sensor is being received as expected. And also, you can use our old friend Multimeter to see if the digital pins are delivering the right voltage. Now, let me tell you something that might be really interesting for you if you are really into electronics and robotics. What if I tell you that you can start learning PCB designing and circuit drawing totally free, from beginner level to advanced level? Yes, Altium has a free program for students called Altium Student Lab. If you have a school or university email, you can simply enroll and follow proper courses that teach you how real engineers design electronics. You learn step by step, you get guided lessons, and at the end you can get a certificate that is actually recognized by the industry. So if you are studying electronics or want to get into hardware design, check the link in the description and join for free. Altium focuses on helping engineers, makers, and teams design electronics in a way that is organized, shareable, and ready for manufacturing. Now let's say our robot moves, but it's shaky, slow, or maybe turns randomly. That's usually mechanical issues. You can tighten loose screws and motor mounts. Small wobbles become big steering problems when it is driven for a long time. And you can also try spinning the wheels by hand. If they are stiff, check for debris, bent shafts, or gears rubbing the chassis. Also, it's very important to check the wheel alignment and friction. Both wheels should touch the ground evenly. Nothing should be dragging in the ground. Also, make sure you keep the cables away from the wheel. You can lift the robot and run the motors in the air. If they are smooth in the air but weak on the floor, reduce the friction and fix the alignment. Now let's say your robot uses different sensors and it's acting a little bit weird. In that case, we can check if the sensor pins are connected correctly. Checking the pinout is crucial. For example, In the ultrasonic sensor, we have the trigger and echo pins. Make sure these two pins are connected to the right pins in the Arduino, because if you reverse it, it might not be working as expected for sure. And this is the same for all the sensors. We need to make sure that the sensing element as well as the pins are clean so that there will be proper contact between the connections. Especially in the case of optical sensors, dust and fingerprints could confuse the sensor. You need to understand how the sensor works and how we can connect to the microcontroller. Some sensors need pull-ups or a specific voltage range. Some works for 3.3 volt, some works on 5 volt. And for some sensors, we might even need to calibrate the threshold. For example, light and surfaces that change the readings. One thing that's really helpful is printing the sensor value with serial.println while you move your hand in front of it. If your numbers don't change, wiring or pin mapping is wrong. Or in some cases, the sensor might be damaged. So if your robot is not working as expected, we need to isolate one thing at a time. We need to test power, then one motor, then the other, and then the sensor. Change one variable and test again. Don't swap 5 things at once. Read documentations and forums, because there is a high chance that someone else has your exact same issue. And don't give up. Debugging is a skill that grows with experience. If you have any doubts or any issues with your robot, make sure you ask it in the comments down below and I will try my best to solve your issue.